wondered if the smallest voice, the faintest whisper, can be heard by the heavens. Let me tell you a story that might just answer that question. High up on a sun-drenched hill, nestled among rugged, grey rocks, a tiny goat found itself in a bit of a jam.
It had been playfully leaping from one rock to another, but a clumsy misstep had wedged its little leg firmly in a narrow gap. At first, it struggled, pulling and tugging, but the rock held it tight. Fear began to creep into its small heart.
The sun was warm, but a chill of loneliness washed over it. All around, the world was vast and quiet, save for the gentle rustle of the wind. The little goat was all alone.
Its mother was somewhere on the other side of the hill, and its bleats for help were too weak to carry that far. Panic started to set in.
It tried to wriggle free again, but the sharp edge of the rock scraped its leg, and it cried out in pain. Tears welled up in its big, brown eyes.
It felt so helpless, so small, in this enormous world.
The other goats were gone. The birds flew high above, and the day was slowly turning towards afternoon. What was it to do?
In that moment of pure desperation, when all its own strength had failed, the little goat did the only thing it could.
It closed its eyes, lifted its tiny head towards the vast blue sky, and whispered a prayer from the depths of its being.
Adua! Ya Allah! It bleated softly, its voice barely a quiver. Ya, help me!
It was a simple plea, born of pure faith, a tiny creature calling out to its creator.
Down in the valley below, a young shepherd boy was tending to his own small flock. His name was Khalil, and he had a kind heart and ears as sharp as a hawk's eye.
As he watched his sheep graze peacefully, a faint sound drifted on the breeze. It was so soft he almost missed it.
He paused, tilting his head.
Was it the wind? Or maybe a distant bird?
He listened again, his brow furrowed in concentration.
There it was again, a tiny, distressed cry. It wasn't the sound of his own sheep.
This was different. Something was in trouble.
His heart, always attuned to the creatures of the land, felt a pull of concern.
Without a second thought, he left his flock in a safe pasture and began to climb the hill, his eyes scanning the rocky terrain, following the direction of that faint, pleading sound. As he climbed higher, the cries grew a little stronger.
He scrambled over boulders and pushed past thorny bushes, his determination growing with every step. Finally, he spotted it.
A flash of white fur trapped between two large, unforgiving rocks.
He rushed forward and saw the little goat, its legs stuck fast, its eyes wide with fear and exhaustion.
The goat flinched as he approached, but when it looked into the boy's gentle eyes, it seemed to understand he was there to help.
Khalil knelt down, his voice soft and soothing.
She, little one.
Don't be scared, he murmured. Allah sent me.
He spoke the words with such simple, profound belief.
He saw himself not just as a boy who heard a cry, but as a hand of mercy, sent in response to a prayer. With careful, gentle hands, Khalil began to work.
He examined the way the goat's leg was trapped, figuring out the best way to free it without causing more pain.
He pushed and pulled at the smaller stones around the gap, creating a little more space.
He spoke to the goat the entire time, his calm voice a comforting balm. It's okay. We'll get you out. Just be patient.
Finally, with one careful maneuver, he managed to shift the main rock just enough.
The little goat pulled its leg free with a relieved bleat.
It was scraped and sore, and the poor thing was trembling from the ordeal.
It was too weak to walk properly on the rocky path back down the hill. Khalil smiled, a warm, reassuring smile.
He carefully scooped the tiny creature into his arms, holding it close to his chest.
The little goat, feeling safe and warm, rested its head against his shoulder and let out a soft sigh. Khalil carried it all the way back to his home.
That evening, as the family gathered for their meal, the aroma of his mother's cooking
filled their humble home.
The little goat was resting safely in a small pen with some fresh water and soft hay.
As they ate, Halil's mother paused, a thoughtful look on her face.
Subhanallah, she said, looking at her son.
Our food tastes sweeter today.
There's a special barakah, a blessing in it.
Khalil looked up from his plate, a knowing smile playing on his lips.
He glanced over at the rescued goat, now sleeping peacefully, and then back at his mother.
That's because mercy feeds the soul. Mother, sigh softly.
His words were simple, yet they held a deep wisdom. He understood that the sweetness they tasted wasn't just in the food,
but in the feeling of having done a good deed, of having been an instrument of Allah's compassion.
The story of the little goat and the kind shepherd boy teaches us a beautiful lesson.
It reminds us that Allah hears every prayer, even the whisper of the smallest of his creatures, and often his help comes through the hands of those who show mercy. When we are kind to animals, to people, to all of creation, we are not just helping them. We are opening ourselves up to Allah's blessings. That act of kindness, that moment of mercy, enriches our own lives in ways we might not even expect, making our own food, our own lives, taste that much sweeter. So, let's try to be like the shepherd boy. Let's keep our hearts open and our ears listening for the cries for help around us, big or small. Because true faith isn't just in our prayers, it's in our action. Allah helps those who show mercy to his creation. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more reminders. Until next time, peace be with you.